Well, all right. It is Monday. It is March 11th and 10:40 in the morning right now. And today I went 3-1. Not too bad. Not terrific. Not terrible. Unfortunately, the loss did land on one of my PA accounts, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. But today, my main focus is just going to be, you know, basically my one unlucky loss today is not going to affect me emotionally, and it really doesn't. I feel really good about today, and I get into the trades. You'll see I got top ticked. Literally went one tick just enough to get my stop, and then went on to work for the trade. So I'll talk about that. But otherwise, that was my first trade of the day, was the loss. And then I was able to just move on to my other accounts. I did get 3 wins across evaluation 27, 31, and 35, one for each, and was up 138 on Eval 27, up 162 on the Eval 31, and up 122 on Eval 35. So that was all fine and good. When I look at my accounts, the struggle I've been having lately is just my losses, unfortunately, have been coming at the expense of my PAs, just falling that direction randomly. So, I know that's always a possibility. I just gotten this account back over the starting balance by a couple hundred, and now I'm back below the starting balance again with this loss. So, it's a bummer when that happens. It's probably like the third time that's happened on this particular account already. And, it sucks, but that's just the way it goes. Also, I had a loss recently on this account where I was only 600 away. So now I'm, about 1100 away. And then this account took a loss recently as well. So was under the starting balance and need to get one more trade to be above the starting balance there. But all the drawdowns on all those accounts are good. I've got, about 1,000 on the 25K accounts and about 2,000 on the 50K accounts. So it's always going to take more than one loss and more than one day on these accounts to blow up an account the way I'm trading. And that's why I'm trading this way. And that is my risk management strategy. I look at these accounts like the PAs in general. I average about $200 in fees to have those PAs. When you take in consideration the evaluation I spent the fees on to pass, and then the PA lifetime fee itself. So it's roughly $200 per PA account. And then each evaluation is either the 90% off, which is about $16, or the 80% off, which is about the $30 each. So that's, my max risk per account. And, when I take a $500 hit like I did today on PA6, I didn't lose $500. I don't look at it like I lost $500. In fact, I know that the most I can lose is $200 on this account total of my actual money. And otherwise, when I'm playing this account, I'm essentially playing skee ball, and I'm trying to get tickets, trying to get the high score for my skee ball game, get a bunch of tickets to get spit out. And when I have enough tickets, I go to the checkout counter and I say, hey, I'd like my gift, please. And, or my, my prize, please. And my prize will be $1,500 max payout on the 25K accounts. And when I have enough tickets, which is the $2,600 in the account, then I'll go get my 2,000 payout request prize from my 50K account. And that's how I look at it. So really, at any given time, not only did I not lose $500, but I can come back and bring this account back and still not lose my 200 actual dollars for this account. So just wanted to mention that. It's been something that I've been talking about recently, and it's an important aspect of what I'm doing here. So when you look and say, oh, he's not making as much on his wins as he makes on his loss. Yeah, that's true. But I'm not concerned about the value of the loss per trade. what I'm trying to do is split out my wins and losses across multiple accounts so that even on days where I take a hit and have a red day on a account, I'm still moving forward, in this case, 3 other accounts. And really, the 2 of the 3 accounts are really starting to get closer to their profit goals. So that's the key. It keeps it so that when I get a loss like this, I don't walk away from the day feeling like a loser. I don't walk away feeling like I got a loss. So what a terrible day. I'm still moving towards my goals on these accounts. And yeah, I took a hit on this account, but I'm going to come back to fight another day on that one and have a chance to get it to where I need it to be to get some payouts. So let's get into the trades and keep this a shorter video today. All right, so here we go. This is the first chart that I traded on. Unfortunately, like I said, the first trade I took today was a loss, and you could see it was a pretty choppy day before I started. Because of the time change today, I struggled to get here and got started a bit late. I think by the time I got the stream up, it was like right just turning 7 o'clock or so in the morning on the West Coast. And I'm just trying to make this big so you can see here. So, I had a pretty solid move down and had a first entry, second entry, and entered 1 tick below this bar. Now, when this bar was coming back up, there is a rule that I can play by where I can move my stop order to the previous swing. Because I was on a PA account, I got a little bit hesitant to do that. There wasn't enough time to check how much higher it would be, and these bars are pretty big. This bar was 47 ticks, and this bar was 45 ticks. So, but in real time, this bar was 107 ticks. So in real time, I wasn't really able to gauge how big these bars were in terms of how much higher I'd have to put my stop. And so I did get my stop, and I was getting ready to drop it at this higher point. But I hesitated just too long. By the time I tried to drop it and give myself some more room, it stopped me out of the trade. It literally top ticked me. I don't know if you can see that, make it as big as I can, but it literally top ticked me, took me out of the trade, and then went to work for my profit target easily. So that was unfortunate, but that's going to happen sometimes. I really need to kind of think about when I enter trades, where is the previous swing, just so I have an idea and can gauge it, whether it's worth it to put on some extra risk. In this case, it definitely would have been worth it. It was like the difference of 2 points, which is like 8 more ticks. And considering the size of this bar was only 47 ticks, that meant that I would have been risking 55, 56 ticks total, which is much less than I've risked on other trades anyway. So this should have been a no-brainer to move that stop and protect it at the previous swing, just because my entry got engulfed on the very first bar. So that's something for me to take away and have in mind when I enter future trades in case the same situation comes up again. Now, if the previous swing was like way up here, then there's no way I'm doing that, because I'm not going to risk the entire PA account on one trade at this point until I start getting payouts. So, this was definitely close enough to consider that, but I decided just a split second too late. And I don't know what happened, but after I took this loss, I looked over at my YouTube stream and realized that it wasn't streaming anymore. So I don't know what happened with my stream. I haven't even gone back to look at the first 5 minutes of the first clip that got posted today for my stream, because I had to restart my stream, and then that stream stayed on the rest of the day. So I still have to go back and look and see if it even caught that trade. I hope it did, because I want to see how close I was to dropping it, moving the stop before it got taken out. I mean, I literally tried to drop it here right as this, like, it didn't even look like it got there yet when I tried to do it, because I was waiting to see if it was really going to do it or not. So unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. And like I already talked about, losing $500 on that account isn't going to get to me today. It was just time to move on and go to the next account. So, and what I am doing is, I should mention, I am using this wheel to choose what accounts get traded in what order. So I spin the wheel, and wherever the wheel lands is the next account that I trade. And I just do that to move through all of my accounts. And so, if I was taking another trade right now, that would be the next account that I trade. So that's how I'm going about deciding what accounts get traded. But let's move on to trade number 2 now, which is on a different chart. Again, I'll mention once I have a chart like this that picks up an entry that doesn't work, I stop trading that chart for the day. And so I did not go back to this chart after that point. And it did go on to not only lose this entry, but the very next entry it lost again as well, and then had a bunch more losses throughout the day on that chart. So that's why once I see a chart pick up an entry that doesn't work, I just move on to other charts. Let's take a look. All right, so here we can see another size tick chart, and I took 2 trades in a row here. So where my loss was around 7:07 in the morning. My next trade I entered was at 7:35, so it was roughly 30 minutes later. It was interesting. I actually was, and you can see the live market still moving here, but I was talking about this trade before it happened, and I was saying, I was kind of thinking, I was hoping that it wasn't going to trigger down here somewhere, because there's a first entry short and here's a second entry short. And I was saying I'd like it to get up to the opening price, which is this white dotted line, because I was saying that, it's something I've been seeing lately, that I can trade off of those levels as support or resistance, in this case resistance. And you can see when it opened, it kind of made it a little bit over, but it got resisted here. And then so I was just betting on the fact that it would get resisted here. You can see not a great signal bar. It's kind of a bullish bar. Definitely wouldn't fit any normal price action rules I would trade to go short. But because this chart was now a winning chart with no entries that didn't work for the whole session, I was willing to take that trade, and it worked right away real easily. Got 15 ticks on evaluation 35, which was good enough for $122. And then not much longer, at 7:41, got my next trade number 3 on evaluation 31. And this is the same kind of idea. If I'm trading with any kind of rules, price action rules, max Pats rules, I can't take this trade. It's a bearish bar. It closed below the EMA. But you can see there's a first entry here above this bar on this wick. And then a second entry is above this bar, which would be above the EMA. And you can also kind of look at it like, if I was talking about max Pats system, you could kind of look at this like a double bottom and say first entry short, second entry short that failed above this bar at the EMA. So I'm not really looking at it like that, but you can argue that. Anyway, 22 ticks was good enough on evaluation 31 for $162. And then after that, I moved on to another chart. I forget what happened. I think I was talking and maybe I missed a trade or something. I forget exactly what happened, but I think this chart eventually went bad. Don't remember. I guess actually here, first entry short, second entry short below this green bar that didn't work for the profit target and failed. I don't remember why I wasn't in that trade. I think I was looking somewhere else, or I wasn't paying attention, or I was talking, or I forget, honestly. But you can go back and see my live stream, and if I'm talking, you'll be able to see why I was able to avoid that loss there. And then I moved on to my last chart of the day where I took my last trade. Let's take a look at that real quick. All right, so here we go. Here's the full chart. So I moved on to this chart. This chart had been working for the entire session. And again, another trade that if I'm applying any rules, I can't take this trade. But you can see a first entry short, second entry short. All my trades are second entries, and you can see it's a kind of bullish to doji-ish bar, closed above the EMA. But this chart was working all day, and I figured if usually what will happen if it's a bad trade was, this bar will close, another bar up here will close bullish, and then it'll trigger above the EMA, going right into the EMA after a bullish bar. And that's where these trades tend to lose. But I like this one because even though this bar here closed above the EMA and it was kind of bullish. I figured that if it closed below, or I mean, if it ticked below, it would be good enough for a scalp below the EMA. And you can see it was way more than a scalp. Unfortunately, it only got my minimum amount of ticks I'll take, 11 ticks. When there was an opportunity for much more, but the price moved really fast. It ticked down, and then my stop moved to 11 ticks. It tries to let it move more, but unfortunately price hit it, took me out, and then kept going. So 11 ticks on evaluation 27 was good enough for $138. And right after I took that trade, this was right at 8:40, and then I had to take my daughter to school. And then I ended up missing like an hour of trading because I forgot to bring shoes for my daughter to go to school with. And so I had to drive all the way back, get shoes, and bring her back. We were late to school, and I was late getting back to the chart. And by the time I got back to the chart, around 9:40 or whatever it was, it just chopping around the opening price, just didn't really see anything I liked, didn't really have good charts anymore. And also the bars were getting super big. I mean, these bars, 84 ticks, that's 62 ticks. This bar, these bars are all getting really big. 74, this bar up here, 104 ticks. I mean, I was seeing entries where like it was over 80 ticks. And that's another rule I've just been kind of thinking about employing, is kind of soft rule, but when the risk is more than 80 ticks, to perhaps skip the trade. So anyway, you can see the live market here. It's just been really just kind of a sideways day, choppy sideways day for most of the day. And, I'm going to be happy with my 3 wins and 1 loss, 75%. It was not great to start the day with the loss on the first chart, but when that happens, I know that it's just affecting one account out of the 8 current active accounts that I have. And so I just move on with my day and say, okay, I haven't blown up the account. There's plenty of opportunity to bring it back, and I'll try again tomorrow with that account when it's time to take a trade on it. And in the meantime, I've improved 3 accounts, and really 2 of the 3 are in good standing. So, getting within a few $100s of passing another evaluation on a 25K, and within $1,000 now of passing a 50K. So just going to keep, taking these little base hits and working towards passing evaluations, getting more PAs, and hopefully eventually getting a payout on these PAs as well. And so 126 wins and 32 losses for the year so far, which is 158 trades. Here we are in the second week of March, and 158 trades. I'm really happy about the volume of trades, even on days like today where I'm only getting 4 trades in the day. For me, I know that 4 trades for me is really good. It's really good. I mean, there was a long period of time where I was getting, there were sometimes weeks where I would only get, a couple trades a week. So being 3 and 1 in a single day is like an entire week of my old trading style. So this is just way better for me. Honestly, I'll take 3 and 1 every day, because where the losses get distributed, will be randomized in these accounts, and other accounts will be moving forward, and you just never know where the losses will come. But eventually, these accounts should get to the targets. There might be little setbacks like this along the way, where it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but eventually the losses will be random enough that enough wins in a row will happen on enough accounts that will get me to where I want to be. So because of that, it's really it's really why I can take a loss and not feel any sort of way about it. I'm going to go on with my day. It's going to be a good day, and I'll be back at it tomorrow to hopefully recover some of this tomorrow on that account. Other than that, that's why 1 unlucky loss won't affect me emotionally. And for that, I'm really grateful for the way I'm trading. It's a game changer for me to be able to eliminate that feeling that emotion when you lose and taking it badly and wanting to like get it back and revenge trade and YOLO and do all those bad things that people do after taking a loss. I'm able to accept it, let my account absorb it, move on, and come back and trade another day. And at the same time, improve 3 accounts. Now this one, is below starting balance, and I gotta check and see when it renews, because I'm probably gonna have to just YOLO this at some point before it renews, and it might be better depending on where it's at when it renews if I just started over from scratch. But we'll see. This one already has enough days traded for 7 days if there's no promo running for a shorter amount of time. So it might be worth keeping it just because I don't need to trade 7 days at this point. I could literally YOLO in a day and pass it if I wanted to. So I'll see how that goes. But I think I've said it all for today. I do live stream every day. Seems like I'm more starting at about 10 a.m. East Coast than 9:45, but I do try to be here by 9:45. So you can come check me out 9:45 to 12:30 East Coast, which is 6:45 to 9:30 on the West Coast. Sometimes I trade a little bit later like today. And 71% discount still running, as well as the 3-day pass. Today is the last day to buy an evaluation and use the 3-day pass. If you buy it tomorrow, there won't be 3 days before the promo ends, and so therefore you won't pass it in 3 days. Unless they extend it or change it to 1 day again or something like that. But if it goes back to 7 days, you won't pass it if you don't buy the evaluation today and trade it today. Use this code or any other. Check me out on the live stream. Like and subscribe if you're interested in seeing how this whole strategy works over a longer period of time. Not only my entry strategy, but my strategy in terms of how I'm trading my Apex accounts. I think I've said it all, and I'll be back at it tomorrow. Hope you had a good trading day. I'm out of here. Thanks.